All right, we here back at the Momentum Podcast. We got a special guest, Fort Wayne native Jesse Bates. Jesse went to Snyder High School, plays for the Bengals, free safety. Going into year 4 of his career, he went through a process just like a lot of kids in Fort Wayne are currently going through a process. So we got him here. We're thankful to have him here and be able to share his journey with people. So, Jesse, year 4, what have you learned up until this point? What are you excited about going into year 4?
Yeah, it's crazy how your role and your responsibilities change after year. I feel like every year, every step of my journey through high school, through college, through the NFL, I've always set a goal. I've always set my main goal and what I'm really trying to get out of it. And I think that's why I think my process has kind of gone a little smoother than a lot of people, even though I wasn't recruited high or I'm not from the big city. We're from Fort Wayne. So just stuff like that, man. I'm excited for what's to come because I feel like I've kind of got my name out there a little bit.
Yeah.
But honestly, bro, I ain't even did nothing yet. I feel like I dropped like 4 interceptions. I send you the videos all the time.
Right.
Those opportunities is what separates you. So that's kind of like the next step I want to tap into going into year 4. Got contract coming up.
Yeah.
And then you just talk about, money and how powerful it is and how much you can do with it, whether that's good or bad. And I feel like I have a lot of people set up in my life where I'm going to do a lot of powerful things with money. And that's impacting my people, impacting my community, and generations to come. So I'm excited for it. Pay my debt back to the people who sacrificed for me to where I am today. So.
That sounded like purpose. We talked about, you went through AWP, Athletes with Purpose. That's one of the main reasons Traction Athletic Performance is around. So you're talking about tapping into a purpose that is bigger than the sport. Yes, it's money, but the money is not the situation. Like, it's not the main thing you're focused on. You're focusing on what the money can do beyond the sport. And, for us, we're, Traction Athletic Performance, it's beyond the game. We think beyond the game here, so that's good for kids. That's good for kids for sure.
You gotta have some type of environment that kids can get away from home. I think that's why. That's another reason why I'm successful, because not just being raised by a single mom. My mom did a really good job of raising me and my siblings, but I was able to have mentors. People like you to look up to and ask questions to, and people that hold me accountable to get me where I am today. But it's crazy because I feel like nowadays the kids feel like you should reach out to them instead of, every time I come in town, I'm like, LB, what time should we do this?
Yeah.
I'm reaching out to you. I'm seeking the right people that I want to be in my life. I feel like a lot of people aren't doing that. So I think that's something that's very key to having success, not just only in football, on the field, on the court, whatever it is, but in life as well.
For sure. And I think, going a little off subject than what we got in our notes, but I think what you talking about, that right there is just humility. That's a form of humility. You being at the highest level, levels that I didn't even reach, and still being able to send film and be like, oh, look at this step, or look at this read, or look at this. And still even, allowing me to be able to learn as I go, because I didn't get to the league, but I'm impacting a lot of kids right now that have that dream, which we're gonna get into next, that dream of getting to the league. And, you being able to just, all the knowledge you're getting and asking for knowledge from me, and then we tying it together. And then, I think that's gonna help in itself before the money can buy everything or do everything for people to benefit them too. I think that right there is sowing seed into the youth, just by that humility. So That's a big thing, man, and that's awesome. And that's why we always, if anything you do, anything you post, or any big play you have, we celebrate that big play, but we talk about, all right, the human being behind that big play, and I think a lot of athletes, obviously you and Jay, you guys are different because you guys, you've shown you haven't forgot where you come from. You've done a lot of good things for the people that are coming behind you. There's a lot of guys that don't even want to go and work out with their old stomp, where the like you said, they don't reach out, but it is what it is. There might be other things around it, but the humility aspect that you guys have reached the highest level and can come in here and train with these kids and push them, and the fact that you even know a kid's name, like Aaron Stewart, like last year, him just being able to walk in you guys' space is a reason why he's coming out this year and he has more confidence. That's touching somebody right there.
Yeah, and like I said, bro, it worked both ways, bro.
Yeah.
When I think about when I got drafted, bro, I decided to do it with all my people in Fort Wayne just because a lot of the stuff, I'm representing them, they representing me.
Right.
And I value them so much. So that's why I always support. You know what I'm saying? Everything you do, I'm going to support because I know how much you sacrifice out of your day to make sure I'm working out, making sure I'm good as well. So, it's all love. I appreciate everybody. Even the kids that be working out at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They motivate me as much as I motivate them.
Yeah, sure. That's real. That's love. So I guess, let's talk about high school recruiting. Let's talk about the process, your 7-on-7 process, training. You were a 3-sport athlete. We got kids out here that, kind of play at least 2 or 3 sports.
Yep.
You're at, like I said, once again, at the highest level of football. How did you balance that? How were you able to get recruited? And how did you, did you have to put all of your did you go 75% football, 5% basketball, the 20% baseball? How did that go?
Yeah, that process was crazy, man, because I grew up playing all 3 sports my whole life. So my love for each of those games, was deep down in me. It was deeply rooted in me. And I had friends that I played baseball with my whole life. I had basketball friends that I became best friends with, that I had to go play with. You feel me? So I think the hardest decision I had to make playing all 3 sports was going into my senior year, not playing baseball my junior year. I didn't play baseball because I felt like I couldn't practice on the weekends or something like that for baseball because I had 7-on-7 tournaments. So I didn't play baseball my junior year, which kind of sucked because, I had some best friends that were seniors that was looking forward to play with me. But the main goal was to get a scholarship, free education. It wasn't the best journey, but I'm very blessed for the 4 offers that I had. It's gotten me to where I am today.
So you talk about having 4 offers. When you talk about having 4 offers, that's not, most people that are in the league, a lot of people that get to the league, they're naturally 3, 4 stars, 5 stars, You got to the league and you had 2 offers right up into signing day?
Yep.
And then ended up getting 2, was it at signing day you got 2?
Yeah, I had Ball State and Toledo. I had committed to Toledo going into my senior year because I didn't think there was anybody that was going to offer me after that. So I committed going into my senior year, and I had a really good senior year. I think Iowa, Minnesota, and Wake Forest was kind of digging in between one of the 5-star recruits, you know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of like the second option.
Yeah. And were you
2-star.
Did you have any stars?
I think I was a 2-star, maybe 2, 3-star going into my senior year. And then I got Iowa and Wake Forest that offered me before the signing day. I couldn't take both visits, so I had to pick one, which one I wanted to go visit, because I only had a week before signing day, and I'm hooping all the time. I had a game at DeWanger. The Toledo coaches are there. I'm flying to Wake Forest the next day. So
it's business,
man, it was a crazy process. But I felt that I still talk to a lot of coaches at Wake Forest. Coach Elko, who isn't there right now, but he is the main guy who recruited me there. And I still keep in touch with him and his family, not even just on a football basis. So, like I said, I've been very blessed with coaches and mentors and family members that also helped my mom raise me.
Yeah. So so what obviously.
Man. About the high school process, bro. I feel like a lot of the stars come from just the eye test, being able to pass the eye test, and me being able to play 3 sports. I wasn't really in the weight room as much. I was still doing DB stuff. I still had my mental right, and I think that's what kind of separated me, throughout my whole journey. I feel like talent gets you through the door, but character kind of keeps you there. And I think that's a big thing, because I feel like character is all you got, especially now. I walk in the locker room with people that's been in the league for a long time, that had a lot of success. But a lot of people don't respect you unless you got that character.
Right.
I mean, that's all you got to offer at the end of the day. So
I'm gonna come back to something like that when you're done, because I think it's character, but it's results too.
Yeah.
It's character and results, but let me let you finish about the character part and the locker room part and your experience in the locker room with the Bengals.
Yeah, so it's just crazy how social media works, and how people do things for whatever their reason, their desire is.
Clout.
Exactly, clout. Exactly. That's what we call
Clout
it.
chasing.
So a lot of people do it for the clout. Everybody wants the clout now. Everybody wants to see what's cool, but at the end of the day, a lot of that stuff don't even matter, bro. Like, people put too much value into that, and that's what they want to be. Like, they compare themselves to that whoever that human being is. And not that it's wrong. Like, it's cool. Like, for me, for my journey, like, I've always been able to evaluate and observe not only myself, but people around me. People that are doing bad stuff, and the people that are, at 5 stars. So being able to, break that down and learn from everybody, I think is something that's big.
But, when you talk about high school, you talk about having those 2 offers like that, and you went into talent, which you had, they saw some type of talent in you. Talking about character, but one thing that we're big on here is character and human development, but we also do training. And we also do training because at the end of the day, what you just talked about when you said Toledo was at your game and the next day you were going to Wake Forest, that's a business decision for you. College coaches that were recruiting you, they're in a business, right? They get paid. We had one coach come in one day and he said, look, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I love my house, I love my wife. My wife loves my house. It's either I'm gonna lose my house because you're not gonna produce, or I'm gonna stay in my house because I'm gonna get the guy that's gonna produce, so
replace you.
Yeah, they can replace you. So, it is a business, but I think I started working with you probably around your freshman year of college.
Yeah, freshman year of college, yeah.
And what would you say your technique was like at that time? I remember we was training with Bustle.
Yeah.
He was like, man, he looked like me.
That's what it's the process of just trying to perfect your craft. I feel like I didn't take it. It wasn't a priority of mine throughout high school, because I did play other sports, and that's fine, because I thought that those other 2 sports kind of translated to football. Me playing center field and baseball, it's the same thing as me tracking the baseball and the football, the same thing. So I think that's one of my strengths, and why I'm gonna someday get paid a lot of money to do so, to go get the ball. So I think that definitely helped me, but being able to focus on that.
Before you go into that, what I was getting at is you got to Wake Forest because of your results.
Right.
Before I even started training with you. So it's like, kids got to understand now, it's not really, you can do all the training in the world. You can do, whatever you want. But if you're not out there having the results, Like that's the reason they offered you is because you were out there making results. It wasn't like you were out there getting a couple tackles a game, a couple picks, or a couple pass breakups. You were your IQ was there, so you had a good education of the game because of probably you was around Mike Lito training you, Aaron Lane training you, different guys training you, but you had an IQ to be able to go and get people to notice you. So. When I talk to kids a lot, it's like, I tell them all the time, yes, I'm going to help you. Mm-hmm. I'm going to help you get your technique down. I'm going to help you get your IQ down.
So you got to perform.
But it's out there like, when the light's on, when it's Friday Night Lights, when it's showcase, when it's, 24/7 pro days or combines, we got to go out there and perform, You wasn't the fastest kid. You know what I mean? You wasn't no blazer. Like, were you a 4.4 kid? You 4.5 at the combine?
4.5 at the combine.
Probably 4.4 hill time.
I was probably 4.7 in high school.
In high school, you know what I mean? 4.7 in high school, and went out there and made plays. So that's really what I wanted to talk about. I didn't want to get into really about helping you with your technique in college. It was more of the reason why you got there. But you could have just been like, I got there to Wake Forest, off of me. You could have just been like, man, I don't need to train with LB.
Right,
I mean? I got there. I'm here. I'm at D1. They get a lot of DBs to the league, but then adversity hit kind of, right? Because you probably went in there with the mindset that you was going in to start. I know when I was going to IU, that's what my mindset was like. I want to go in there and play as a true.
That's the only mindset you go in thinking.
That's what you got to have. So then adversity hit. So let's talk about your college career a little bit.
Yeah. So going into my my college year, I left in the summer. Some kids they graduate early and get down there in the middle of the semester. Which I think is a huge step forward compared to everybody else. But just getting there in the summertime, and we just got a new head coach. I was the first recruiting class for our head coach, so we're kind of rebuilding a little bit. But we had like some older guys that was just there throughout the whole process, bro, just grinding. They were trying to weed the guys out that just wasn't really invested into it. So.
Business.
Exactly. Business. Exactly. So, bro, I went in there and I got redshirted, bro. I got redshirted, and I didn't know how to feel about it because I never gone a whole year without playing a game of any type of sort in my life. Yeah. So it was two decisions I had to make, whether I was gonna buy into the Red Dawn that we had every morning, like 5 o'clock workouts in the morning, while the other guys are preparing to go play in the game, which you love to do. And I never loved the weight room. Like that's something that I never loved to do. But that's a part of the process. Like you can't skip those steps, a part of the process. And I think that a lot of people do that. They think they're just gonna skip over this step right here that you gotta do, that everybody else that's been successful doing what you wanna do, they did it. And you trying to avoid it, I think.
Right. It's like what Mike always say, like if you see somebody that made $1 million, why you ain't gonna try to do what they did?
Right.
If they did the same thing, why you gonna try to do what they did to make the $1 million?
Right. And I kind of double talk myself with that, LB, because I say learn from people, but you're your own person. You can't. His process, that millionaire's process, is gonna be completely different from that person's millionaire process. So you just have to understand that and be able to learn and apply it to your life.
Yeah. That's good. I know a big thing that that's probably your brand, right? Just believe. And I think, for me, when I saw it, my first time working out with you, being able to see, all right, he's a red shirt, like, his technique can be worked on. There's a couple things that he can do to be able to be a little bit more explosive out the break. You already got the IQ. You already got the hands. Let's get him out there on the college level to be able, because the game's faster, right? I know when you in high school, it's fast. A lot of guys that play 7-on-7, high school is not as fast for them. But when then they go to college, it's like 2 more notches, and then 2 more notches when you get to the league. So it's like, we tell kids right now, you got to believe, right, in the process that you're in, and that's your brand right now. So I think what you just did all in one is just talked about where you got Just Believe from, right?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much that's what summed it up. It's just like I would say I believed in what I could do before anybody else could. Probably even before any of my family members even thought I could make it too. But I just felt like I knew, and I observed the people that were there. For example, Jalen. I've been able to watch him grow and do exactly what I wanted to do. Right. So I'm truly blessed for him, because he like a brother to me. So I can just call him and talk to him about a girl, and I can talk to him about all the process and all the stuff that you gonna face, through this lifestyle that we live in our career. That sometimes you don't get the real stories from other guys and the vets and stuff like that. Being able to have pretty much like a family member like Rod, Jalen, Drew, all those guys, and we starting to add up on the NFL guys, bro. So I'm used to only saying me, Jalen, Drew, and we starting to add A-Mac, and you know what I'm saying, we got some guys coming up, so I'm very excited.
We can have more, but I think the way we get more is by kids buying into what we've talked about up to this point. Obviously, man, like you in high school. Let's talk about your discipline level in high school and how, obviously, you have friends that aren't athletes right now. You have friends that probably didn't have the same vision or same mentors or same access. I know with Rise and everything, they always talk about access to people, access to resources. So, how were you able to discipline yourself to be able to be like, what friends am I gonna choose as I'm trying to go on this journey? Were you able to balance, situation with girls, situations with friends, and still be able to put in that work and be a 3-sport athlete? Did you lose friends in the process? Did your friends understand it? Like, how was that situation?
Yeah, I don't know, bro. I've always come from a small family a little bit, and I've just always had a small circle, a group of friends, and not necessarily that I saw every single day. Boys that I grew up playing 7-on-7 with and stuff like that, to where we held each other accountable. We didn't have to have people calling us and asking us where we was at. How come we not making workouts? We were holding each other accountable. Like, hey, bro, we gotta go work out. Like, we gotta, So, and then the people that didn't have the same vision as me, I was still cool with them because I was able to have the humility to not feel like I'm higher above than anyone. And I'm like that now too. I go out and have a good time with the city just because I'm a normal person, bro. At the end of the day, and I grew up with a lot of people from the south side all the way down to the north side. It's all love, and I know how much support I have in Fort Wayne and stuff like that. So it's all about the humility, bro. And you gotta know, you gotta let everybody that you hanging around you what your vision is. So, and just in case that person's trying to interfere with what your goal or what your vision is, you told them from the jump what your vision was. So you don't. If they avoid that or distracting that, then, it's up to them to really see what they want to do. So
I think it's all about communication.
Yeah,
man.
It is.
Communication.
The thing is, bro, everybody, we so cool, bro.
Yeah.
We don't, the communication part don't really hit until now, really, bro. I'm starting to be able to communicate on a normal basis and being able to be consistent with it.
Right.
Because I never been the best with it, and I'm still not the best with it. So it's just losing that. You gonna get embarrassed or you too cool to ask questions and stuff like that. Just be humble. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know, you don't know. Ask a question.
Right. That's good. So, let's talk a little bit about your single mother's thing you got going on. I know your mom is a big influence in your life. Well, first of all, let me ask you this question before we get to that. Was your vision always to get to the NFL? Like, did you always, so as you were in high school and you were going through the process, 7-on-7 training, all that, like, was your goal, what was your mindset through that time? Like, How were you? How was your? Was the NFL even a thought?
Yeah, I always wanted to play professional, but that's something that we always, you know what I'm saying, if you're training, you put in a lot of time, that should be the end goal, obviously, but I did have a plan B. You know, going into college, I wanted to be a physical therapist, and then I redshirted and I had my best GPA throughout my 3 years in college, and then I got in football, and I had a lot of success, and I'm like, dang, like the NFL is really touchable from here. I was a freshman All-American, my redshirt freshman year. And then going into my second year, being able to have people, being able to know my name finally, and just being able to play that consistent play, I started, you know, hearing like my name in the draft and stuff like that. And I was like, bro, it's here. Like I gotta go get it. And I have not finished school, so I gotta go back and finish that. Something I promised my mom. So I think that's another thing. That's another goal of mine. So.
That's good. But I think the good thing you said was about the plan B.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not always gonna be perfect. I feel like my process has been very smooth. As far as injuries and stuff like that, I feel like some people face a lot more adversity than I have throughout that. But I'm very thankful for that. And like I said, I'm asking Drew Tranquil how that process was. You know what I'm saying? So if I ever was to be in that situation, I'm preparing myself for it, preparing my mind and stuff. So, yeah.
I think that's good. That's good when we talk about, you know, going through that process that it was smooth, and not having a lot of adversity as people, you know what I mean? But I think it's just about how you attack the process, you know what I mean? How you take care of your body, you know what I mean? You eat. I don't even think. Do you take a protein shake? Like you work? Have you started taking protein?
I haven't really started taking it.
Yeah,
like
but
that,
you still
honestly.
discipline yourself to be able to, you know, put on the pounds you need to do, because you know I need to do these workouts. I need to eat these foods. I need to do this on recovery today. I need to do this type of yoga. I need to go to the physical therapy to do this. You know, I think I try to tell a lot of kids now, you got to take care of your body like you're already in the pros. Like if you're playing this game, first of all, one of the things I was getting to with your thought always being on the NFL, when you playing this game, you shouldn't play it without trying to reach an ultimate goal. You know, I think goal setting is great, and it's good to have, you know, they say 1 year, 2 year, 3 year plan, you know, 5 year plan. I think you always got to reach for whatever that ultimate is, whether it's, you know, your goal, your 5 year goal is to make $500,000, but your ultimate goal should be like, I'm trying to be a billionaire. You know what I mean? If I'm playing football, like, yeah, I'm in high school. All right, now I'm in college, but my goal should always be to get to the ultimate goal. And I think, we're listening to this book right now. Our kids, Russ, the rapper, and his thing is, you know, dream is a delusion. So it's okay to be delusional. It's okay to have dreams that make you feel uncomfortable. You know, and if you strive for those uncomfortable dreams that a lot of people are gonna be like, is out of reach, you're gonna fall somewhere just because of that mindset you have. You're gonna fall somewhere, even if you don't make it, you're gonna fall somewhere in a good place because you reach for the highest thing possible. So I think that's a good thing for kids to understand nowadays. And you portray that in your journey, and them listening to your journey, you know, I think that will definitely inspire a kid for sure. You know, as far as, you know, you talked about your single mom, you know, how was that? You know, you having a single mother. I was blessed to have two parents, so I don't really know that experience,
right.
But you know, you were still able to, you know, we see old pictures. You were still able to have, you know, J's on, you know what I mean? You know, J's, being able to still look presentable, you know what I mean? Obviously you weren't the richest person back then, but you weren't poor and you had a single mother. So talk about that situation and how and what you want to do moving forward because of that situation that you went into.
Yeah, bro. I just watched the process that my mom went through, in her journey, where there's nothing against the South Side or anything, but that's where I grew up at, in the same house as Deshaun Thomas almost. I think he grew up in the same house as me.
Yeah.
And just watching how much my mom just built our family, and she was just chopping down what she wanted to do, and what her end goal was is to buy herself a nice house. And it doesn't mean that it had to be out south, out north. She just wanted to have a house. And I watched her work for that. Starting from there, I was bad as ever as a little kid, and then moving to Black Hawk Apartment, staying there my whole middle school. And then watching my mom get a house, and you know what I'm saying? And now being able to just have conversations with her and ask her how much she makes and Mom, how much debt do you have? Is something that I would never have had, you know what I'm saying, if I wasn't in the space that I am right now. So I forget kind of what your question was, but I'm kind of going off to the right.
Yeah.
But you get what I'm saying, though.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I just think that, the single mother, a single mother has so many core values that us men sometimes lack. And it's good that, I watched my mom go through some of the struggles that she went through. A lot of times I didn't see it because I had all these other distractions where my mom could go drop me off at basketball practice while she go work another job, make sure we have a good Christmas. So, it looks all sweet. I'm wearing Jordans and stuff like that, but
she sacrificed.
My mom sacrificed, bro. She grinded. And the thing that I love about my mom and the thing that's so wonderful about moms is how unselfish they are. They don't ask for any type of trophy. My mom don't get no trophy like, hey, best mom award for working 3 jobs. So just being in the position, in the space to be able to make life easy for her now, to kind of reward her, give her a trophy and say, Mom, this is your house right here. You don't have to have any debt. And even though my mom would never, she doesn't want to stop working and she wants to get her own, just because that's how she is. It's something that I'm gonna look into, and I'm gonna instill that into my daughter. It's something that I'm gonna look at when I'm searching for a wife. So it just goes way deeper than just having an impact on single mothers. So yeah, bro, that's what I'm passionate about right now. Obviously, I'm passionate about the community in Fort Wayne and what we have going on for the youth, making sure we have communities and stuff for kids to do outside of just school. So yeah, that's something that I want to tap into going into my next contract. But yes, I think you go through all types of stuff throughout life. And right now I'm young, bro. I'm 24.
Yeah.
No kids.
Listen.
No wife or anything.
Listen.
So I don't have a lot of responsibility in my experience with life, and that's been one of the adversities in my life, and watching my mom struggle and just grind. So yeah, bro.
I mean, it's an adversity, but it's also a blessing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah,
Because if you think about it, man, you talk about your mom's process. Take your mom's process, take your process.
Yep.
Your mom had the same process as you, just in a different
Just in the
avenue,
real life world.
A different world. Like, she taught you how to dream.
Yep.
She told you, like, she said she wanted to be in a bigger house. You saw her go from an apartment to a house that she wanted. And it wasn't even a big house, just a house that she wanted. So she showed you that with sacrifice, with doing the right things, it's possible. And you took the same journey because you saw her struggle.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it's like, and we talk about it all the time, like, struggle is necessary. Without the struggle your mom went through, the sacrifice she had.
Probably would have had that. You probably would be hitting me up for workouts.
You know what I'm saying?
We wouldn't have the same drive.
Yeah,
for sure.
you know what I mean? So it's like, that process is needed, you know what I mean? So that's an adversity, but I think that when we talk about adversity, it shows you right there, going through tough times, makes you who you are.
Right, And it's something that, like I said, I'm gonna expand on what is important to me, obviously, what I'm passionate about. Obviously, when you get a girl, you know what I'm saying, you get your wife and you become a family and you wanna leave a legacy. Obviously, it just won't be single mothers. I'm gonna tap into something more. Whatever, life, throws at me right now. Like I said, I'm 24 and I'm kind of living life right now. Just making sure my people are good and doing right by people. And just praying, hoping for the best for real.
that's awesome, man. That's awesome, man. You know, I thank you. You know what I mean, for being on the podcast. I thank you for being who you are. You know what I mean. Like I said, you helped me believe. You know, when we talk about just believe and Jessie Bates, like you helped me believe by just giving me the opportunity to be a mentor, a trainer, you know, a bro, like just being able to walk in your space, you know what I mean? So I appreciate that. I appreciate you. You know, a lot of dudes don't come back and give. I mean, this is basically it's a different location, but this is basically your old stomping ground. This is where you started. So, you know, I got a lot of text messages from last night from parents and everything and kids, just like how awesome it was just that you can come in and watch these kids train, push these kids during their class because that's what you did, you know, and you probably didn't even have that. You ain't have a lot of NFL players going. You just saw it on the TV, so that's an even extra push. You had a push right there without even somebody like you coming down and helping you, you know, and pushing you and just being in that. So, I mean, that's awesome, man. It shows the guy you are. Like I said, the whole Traction family is thankful that you come here and help us and help kids. So, keep doing what you're doing, man. And like, again, you know, it's all love. You know, this is your home. And we hope that you go into year 4 and do everything you pray to do and everything that you got coming for you.
I already know. I appreciate y'all. Everybody here, if you're not training with Traction, I don't know what you're doing. But, yes, God bless everybody.
Say less.